Oh, that makes me so sad.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't just
We all here? Here in this part? He didn't like you at all. Well, welcome everyone to Express Employment Professionals. Obviously, this is not a new business, but it has a facelift. And so I want to introduce Pat and Renee Ashworth. And I'll let whichever one of you talk. But you can't point fingers at each other.
I was going to say, that's not the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, probably not the last time either. First of all, I guess, thank you all for coming. We're very honored that you took time out of the day to come and see us. Again, we're not a new business. It is kind of a complete remodel that came about in an odd way. A little bit of history of Express. It was started from Acme personnel. So the gentleman that owned the original Express office started with Acme here in 1969. So it's always been a staffing company. Then three guys from Acme broke off and started Express personnel in 1983. And then he joined in 1986. We bought it in 2007. In 2008, they changed from Express Personnel to Express Employment Professionals. So went through a whole makeover there and stuff. At the time we bought it, we were just down in that bottom half there. If you look at some of the pictures where our copier and stuff like that used to be the kitchen, and then back here in the testing and application room, that was an office that we had, but we shared the bathroom and we shared the kitchen with Liberty Tax. So came in, and I think the furniture were probably from the original owner as well. So we went to the state surplus and started buying everything. Some of these chairs Christine recognizes because she used to work at Wyoming Stationery, and so the chairs came out of some bank, and we just haven't been able to replace those, but we've replaced almost everything else. In 2011, we took over the entire building, which I'm told from people that have lived here all their lives that was the first time that there was only one business in this building. So this is an old house. So down there was a garage, and I'm pretty sure they did it in the middle of the night, but they just pushed it up against the wall and attached it. And then they built this on. I don't know when they built this on. Our conference room they built on, and then where the kitchen is now they built on. So it's been built on 4 different times, I think, all done in the middle of the night. When we did remodeling, we came across a whole lot of challenges because, number one, it's an old house, plaster walls, nothing is square, nothing is even. When you see 11-inch wall, that's because the 2 walls were pushed together. So the outside, they left all the shingles on, the siding on, and everything. So we had a gentleman, he was actually an associate of ours for a while. He did the building.
In the middle of the night, by the way.
Yeah, he did that too.
Yeah.
So not all bad, I guess. So we kind of had ideas because we wanted to raise this and build a building, and it just became non-cost effective. So we said, let's just buy it anyways at a good price, and if nothing else, we rent it out as a business. And so we kind of had ideas on what we wanted. So we would give him our ideas, and then we had our, as he called them, honey-do list type of deal, because he would start tearing something down, and we'd go, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you take that out? We want to add this and put this in and stuff like that. So we used as much small business as we could. We got a state loan for energy thing to put in all the lights and the heaters back there. So we used AC Mechanical. We had Mars Plumbing pretty much redo all the plumbing. If you downstairs, a complete workover of all that. All the electricity has been redone. That was a nightmare in itself because, again, this was an old house, so you're standing in the living room. So if you remember old houses, they didn't have ceiling lights. So they're always connected here. So whenever they just, in the middle of the night, ran some wires to a light here and kind of jacked it off and tied it with some masking tape or something like that. It was just an accident waiting to happen. But every time you turn off the light to go home, the postage machine turned off. We're like, why is it postage? Well, that's why. So, you know, we kind of encountered those types of things. So, we're pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's still, you know, a work in progress, but that's kind of what I got.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. I want to introduce our staff.
Well, yeah.
Because if it wasn't for the amazing staff that we have, we would not be able to afford to remodel our building. Right? So I think most of you guys know Leather. She is our business developer. She's been with us a little over 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. We have Cassie Connell in the back. Cassie's been with us 7 years?
Yes.
7 years. Started as our front office person, and she is now our operations assistant. So anything and everything you would ever want to know about Express, any client, any associate, any payroll issue, anything, Cassie is our go-to person for any of that. So yeah, so I dump a lot of stuff on Cassie. And then we have Dan. He is our senior staffing consultant. He's been with us almost a year?
Yes, ma'am.
Almost a year. So he kind of manages primarily more of our industrial clients as far as interviewing people that are looking for work, placing them and matching them up with the clients and the jobs that are open. So I currently am...
He's a rock star.
Yeah.
Like
currently filling in as a staffing consultant, trying to manage. We just had a staffing consultant leave, so if you know anybody that's looking for a job, send them our way. So we're in the process of trying to hire, so I'm kind of filling in as a staffing
We can
consultant.
fill your positions, we just can't
Right.
fill ours.
I know somebody you can talk to.
We struggle with that. What you do? I can tell you how to run your business, but...
I know, but as all of our clients will tell us, yeah, but my job is special. My job is special. Is it? My job is special, yeah. So we're in the process of interviewing and trying to identify somebody. So crazy busy people. Unemployment is low. People are always looking for good workers, and yeah, we're busy. So we are truly, truly blessed, and we thank God every day that for whatever reason He moved us to Cheyenne, and this is what we got. So we're very fortunate. We thank you guys for supporting us and all that you do for us too.
And I guess the last thing that I would say, because it's a misnomer, even though we've been here for so long, we have a saying that you are what you last did. So if we helped you with somebody just answering the phones, you're just a temp service in helping with people. If you had somebody dig a ditch, you're just industrial. You don't do administrative. So that's one of the things. We're a full service staffing, and so we handle administrative, industrial, everything from I need somebody to answer the phones, I need somebody to be an administrative assistant, I need a skilled laborer, or I need somebody to just stand there and hold a shovel. So we kind of do it all. And then we do a lot of HR support as far as, you know, Renee. So if you, because a lot of small businesses don't have that home office that they can call for stuff like that. So please feel free, you know, any of you guys to call Renee at any time. She has a profession in human resources, so you know she can answer those questions for you. And then we put on leadership training and development. We actually have one coming up in October. You'll be hearing some stuff seeing some stuff on Facebook. It's Fresh Leadership at the simulcast. So it's a video live thing, but there's 3 exceptional speakers. So and we do those kind of things at no cost. It's just kind of something, a way to give back to the community and just as part of what we do. So that's it.
How long did the remodel process take?
About 8 or 9 months. Again, a lot of it was done at night.
Because we did not.
Professionally done. I mean, yeah.
They use lights.
Right.
Yeah. On weekends, we taped off as much stuff as we could, but every morning we came in and dusted off our desks and vacuumed and endured the sounds of construction, because some things, he had to do during the day, and so, could it have been done a lot faster? Yeah, but when our original plan was to buy this building, have it raised, have a new building built, so we would have had to move and then come back. So it really worked out for the best, the way it did work. I mean, we always say anybody can do anything for a short period of time, and so we kind of endured it all, and you just have to look at the big picture of what you're going to have down the road. We also use Capital Communications for all of our cabling, our plumbing, again, AC mechanical. The outside was four-corner siding, and then Eric with Cheyenne paint, I believe, painted it. So we're kind of nervous about that, because this has been known as the Little Red House on Pershing for 30, 40 years. And the guy that we bought the building from, he was going to move it, and he kept talking to people, and they said, well, what do you own? He said, Express Personnel. And they said, oh, the Little Red House on Pershing. So I kept hearing that. So I better leave it here because it's known as that. So we kind of took this leap of faith to make it blue, and kind of funny because the guy across the street sells wood, and he tells people, well, I'm across the street from the Little Red House. And they started painting the backside Friday night, and he left Saturday morning, and they painted the front. And he drove by it, because he was looking for the red house. It takes a while to get used to something. But we're really happy with the outside and how it turned out. And we've had a lot of compliments on it. So apparently people can make do. If they can get through a roundabout, they can find a blue house in less than a roundabout. Any other questions?
I know that we're celebrating the Cheyenne location, but also you've just opened a location in Laramie.
We did. We opened Laramie 5 years ago. Matter of fact,
So
Laramie.
not just,
But
but
it
because
feels
you
like it's
said
just.
you have 3 full-time people
Yes.
now, and
Yeah.
so it's certainly grown since
Yeah.
we've started.
Yeah, so
congratulations.
they just celebrated the first week of July their 5th anniversary, so they've been there for 5 years.
So you guys are growing.
Yeah, so
Feels
they're.
like that was just
Incoming.
last year.
I know,
Wow.
doesn't it?
Everybody
feel
yell
like
welcome.
Welcome. Come back here and Cassie.
Poor guy.
Supposed to ask when did I win?
If any of you guys have done business in Laramie, Laramie and Cheyenne are very unique communities. I always say Laramie needs Cheyenne for the sports and stuff like that. Cheyenne needs Laramie for shopping and stuff like that, but they want to be their own community. So we didn't want to go into Laramie until we could put up an actual brick and mortar, and be part of that community. So it did take us 5 years to do it, but whatever. I guess we've been over there for 5 years, but it's been a really good move, and Laramie's rocking it as well. So.
Is Express, are you guys a franchise? Because it seems like I've used
Yeah.
one in Montana. Yeah?
We are. We're all individually owned franchises.
Congrats.
Yeah.
There's 850 offices in the United States, Canada, and South Africa. Our headquarters is in Oklahoma City. So, amazing franchise system and support, and something we can't say enough good about them. So, very happy to have joined them.
Anyone else? For company, Hearth and Home, uses Express exclusively to find employees. So one thing I want to emphasize is that they do give us permanent employees. As permanent as they're able to. So they're not just a temp service. And I'm glad that you pointed out all those. I'm glad you pointed out all the leadership things that you do as well, and they do a lot for the community as well. So
yeah, you've been to a couple of them. So, like I said, if anybody's looking for that extra little leadership, it's a complimentary thing. So.
Yeah.
Anybody with
credits.
has HR professional or SHRM or whatever, if they do get credit for it. So that's kind of a bonus as far as that goes.
So why Express Employment? How did you get into this?
So we're originally from Billings, Montana, and we moved to Missoula, Montana in 2001 for a job that Pat had accepted. And so my background was always retail management, so I decided to leave retail management and I was going to get a real people job. So I responded to an ad in the newspaper back then, and it was an ad for Express Employment. So I applied with Express Employment in Missoula, thinking I was applying for a temporary position, and they actually called me in and asked, I think I interviewed 3 times for the front office coordinator. Position. So I was front office coordinator there, and then moved into staffing consultant, and then I moved into the outside sales rep, like what Leather does, and then I became like his business manager.
Okay.
So it was kind of a natural progression for me anyway, that the next step for me was ownership if I wanted to go anywhere. And we were smart enough to know that the gentleman that owned Missoula was never going to sell, because it's a really profitable office. It's a really good office. But he also gave me the opportunity that whenever he sent me on training, he always let me take Pat along with it. He said, only thing you have to do is pay for his plane ticket. So I took Pat for probably, 3 or 4 years
About
anyway,
3 years,
to some of the Express's quarterly or national trainings and stuff. So I got Pat to drink the Kool-Aid. So when we got to, and we were kind of at a point where the job that we moved to Missoula for, well, no, I guess it wasn't. Anyway, Pat was laid off. So it was like, what do we do? And I said, well, I want to buy an Express office. I don't know about you. And he said, we will never move again for a job for him. He said, I feel like that was a big mistake to do that. So I said, well, move it for me.
Ever heard of Cheyenne?
Yeah. So
came here in June. It was sunny, blue sky. This'll do.
Yeah.
It's south. It's closer. It's like.
Well, we knew that we wanted to be in this area because we've got kids, and all of our kids are kind of settled up in this area. So we all knew that we wanted to be in this area. And so when I started investigating with corporate and found out that Cheyenne was for sale, we did. We flew down here for a weekend, never been here before. Flew down for a weekend, stayed with the gentleman that we were purchasing the office from for the weekend, drove around and went, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I know, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just go for it. So we bought our house on the internet.
Sight unseen.
Sight unseen. Well, there was pictures on the internet. There was pictures. Yeah, it's true. It's on the internet. It's on the internet. So there was pictures on the internet. And so, we packed up our house in Missoula and made the drive down here, and we moved in our new house, unpacked, and I think 2 days later we flew to Oklahoma City for 2 weeks of training. And left our office like in the hands of people we didn't even know, because we'd never met the staff. We didn't meet the staff until we got back from Oklahoma City. Yeah,
we took a taxi to the airport.
Well, we were there 2 hours early because we flew out of Cheyenne. That's how much we did not know.
Thank God the bar just opened up. People kept coming through this other door, and it's like, is this like a neighborhood bar? They're walking in, and he's opening up a beer and putting on the counter. I'm like, Friendly crowd. So about an hour before our plane takes off, we said, well, we'd probably better get going because they
Better
asked
go
for
find our
another drink.
gate.
Now we got to get our gate. It's like, your plane's not even here. I'm like, how do you know? Because you'll see it right there. And if you don't come out, they'll come in and get you. It's like, okay, we'll have another drink.
I know. It's
That's a friendly place.
Who knew?
So would you guys like to cut the ribbon?
Sure.
Sure. Where